We probably should have had a lot more TV folks here, but they don't cover that issue anymore, I guess, since we have the illusion that everything is just perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, John. Okay, John.
What kind of government are we going to have, in particular, given the key role that Florida plays in presidential elections, when we have a Democratic Party that is largely impotent? You know, the Washington Generals, everybody knows who the Washington Generals are, the team that's always the foil of the Harlem Globetrotters. Well, I'm no Washington General, and I don't think any of you are either. We have got to make sure that we make everyone aware about what is going on in the state of Florida when it comes to competition with the Republicans. We had no get out the vote effort here in Florida in 2006. We had no absentee ballot initiative here in Florida in 2006. In Florida, we always lose right out of the gates the absentee ballot initiative to the Republican Party. And I should note, because a good friend of mine, his business that he owns is to do just exactly that, all the direct marketing, all those surveys to see what issue is important to what voters, and who is likely to vote and who's not. And after they ask for their absentee ballot, the phone calls from various luminaries that tell them to fill it out and send that thing in. We have no effort on that order. And so why do we lose? This is all about strategy, planning, and execution. The party is a business. And when you compare our business to the opposition's business, we're bankrupt. We have to have committed leadership in the Florida Democratic Party if we are going to have any chance in 2008. Yeah. Otherwise, what are we going to have? Merely an ATM machine for presidential candidates to come down and pick up some checks, predominantly in the South Florida area, I would focus. But what we need to do is make sure that we force our leaders to perform in a way that is consistent with our effort and our goals. And our goals are to make sure that the votes are counted in 2008 and that we are pushing our people, giving the right message to get them out and vote. One other point. When we're talking about fair elections, transparent elections, auditable elections on election night randomly addressed, what we're talking about is making sure that we have a time frame for implementation that is consistent with ensuring that prior to the presidential primaries, both Republican and Democrat, that we can be certain that the votes are going to be counted under those circumstances, not just the primary elections ordinarily and the general elections. So we must push our people, communicate to our people on up the ladder for the leadership to be pushing this issue. And you know, if you go to the Florida Democratic Party website, you will not see any mention among the issues of election reform as being an issue. What is, and I have it right in the bag there, I can show you. The bottom line is, this is not an issue in Florida? You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. What happened in 2000? What happened in 2004? What may well happen in 2008 unless we take charge, you know what will happen? We're going to have a very conservative Democratic candidate, hand-picked, because our votes won't matter in the presidential primary, and then we will have a very close election that, the Republican candidate gets by just by the skin of their teeth. That's not what I'm about. I'm not a Washington general, neither are you, and I think neither are most people if they really knew the truth. And of course there's no media here today. We have to create our own media. That's why we're videotaping this thing, because the media is part of the problem. Corporatization, a corporate government by the corporations, for the corporations, at the expense of the people. I stand here today, John Russell, in support as an advocate for you and for people like us who bad government is affecting most severely. Thank you very much.
There you go, John Russell, folks. Still contesting his election, which he probably won. Seems to have done pretty well with his petition drives, his affidavits for the voters. I don't have any details on that, but I'm afraid he's done fairly well.